you guys. Welcome. Happy Monday. I am just downtown. Check out City Hall. Watching earlier on television. Happy Monday, Carriopolis. Um, and I saw a bunch of people fighting to get Huerta out. Huerta. He's like a union leader. I will admit that I don't know that much about him, but he is a union leader, a man of the people. All right, we're crossing the street. We're a couple blocks away from City Hall. I think last night got a little crazy. I went home by, I don't know, whatever time I ended the stream. I think I went to bed at 10 or 10:15, something like that. I hate when I triple tie my shoes. It's really not triple tied, but like double tie my shoes and they still somehow manage to come untied. I did something a little extraordinary today, which is I set up I set up the Nightbot to like cut some stuff out that people might say or that I saw people saying on other chats. Usually not into censorship, but we are observing, oh geez, little French bulldogs just walking down the sidewalk. A $2,000 puppy. So I'm usually not on this early on Monday. I really wanted to start at 7th Street Metro. We usually start over there. When I was sitting in the courtyard, sorry, whoa, gross mass accent, setting up my camera, the security guard came over and said, "Are you filming for YouTube?" And at that point I wasn't, so I had no problem saying, "No, I'm not. But I'm about to." Well, it's cool because I can film there. I always, whenever I set up my gimbal, it actually looks like I'm setting up like a site or something because you screw it together. And I would give me the stink eye for a second if I saw me setting it up, especially in this climate. So we're downtown, obviously, a couple blocks from City Hall. You might know that if you were a regular walker here. This isn't the usual fare that we cover. We usually stick to history, mysteries, stuff like that. If it's your first time, thanks for joining. But one thing that was really important to me in starting up a channel like this was documenting the city in a positive way, and I do see protesting as a positive thing. You can thank your 40-hour work week to somebody who protested. Actually, right here in Los Angeles. Hey, Nomad, happy to see you here. Hey, Javier, I will do my level best to be safe. Joe is not with me, so I'm not probably going to go into too much trouble, but there really doesn't seem to be a lot of trouble down here right now, or at least I couldn't see that online. I mean, it was just peaceful chanting and speaking about Mr. Huerta. So I'm kind of missing all the lights. But actually, I take that back. I kind of want to go right here, in which I've got 12 seconds. Hey, I am live. I kind of want to, you keep watching the news and it makes it sound like the whole city's on fire. I know that's a sensitive word for us here in Los Angeles, but everything's looted and smashed, and really it's just a small area. And we were down here yesterday, and I'm just going to repeat that the only time I actually felt threatened down here was when there was like a cop with a rifle on the top of the police station, aiming it at various people. It was, you can go back and watch the video if you want. If any of these videos come out really horribly choppy, leave below in the comments. I can repost them. They record. The signal down here isn't always as fantastic. Oh, I think I might have read your name wrong, mountain bike fan. But hey, welcome, thanks for subbing. I don't always see the subs, so if you sub, feel free to chat. We're pretty friendly here, and I'm gonna do my level best to keep the chat at least decent. So usually it's no holds barred. We don't really talk politics, but we have opinions. Today I just wanted to keep it observational. So I am just to Grand Ave, or just about to Grand Ave. Grand Ave and 6th Street. We're about 4 or 5 blocks from City Hall. I kind of want to walk to Broadway if I could. I probably should have gotten off at Pershing Square, but it was really important to me to show that the city is not burning down. That FedEx is open. Or maybe they're not open anymore. Pinch's Tacos is open. People are scared. It is very tense. Homeless people are everywhere. Should I press this button and get something fray? Sorry, I've never seen anything like that before. No, it's just, well, I really have to look out for scooters. Everything is open. Starbucks is open. That's everything to me. I'm kidding, I haven't had a Starbucks in like a year. Verizon's open. I should see if they'll sponsor my channel. I'm sure the guy in the store could do that for me. LA, Los Angeles, New York Pizza is open. Everyday people are walking the street. Is Aunt Eleanor's open? That's what I really want to know, because we've been waiting for this sandwich shop to open forever. I think we all could use a good Dutch sandwich. Right, exactly. But no racist shit, please. The Pershing Square cement park over here. You could fry an egg in the summertime in that park. I rag on it all the time because if you go back and look at pictures of it before the 50s, it was really beautiful before the 50s. It was. Now it's like a cement wonderland with a really heinous sculpture of like a fireball that has turned orange. I didn't want anything fray. I want to know what a Dutch sandwich is. Also, I I'm if there's anybody from the Netherlands in here, please give a shout out. My experience with Dutch cuisine is actually like frites, which are Belgian, or eating at the Febo Automatikiet. So I'm excited for a high quality Dutch sandwich that Eleanor's could probably provide. But we've been walking by that place for like a month when they were still painting the sign one time. I think it might have even been as far back as the tunnel walk, which was a couple months ago. So we're gonna take a left here. As you all know, our favorite hotels are right down there. We're gonna skip the park. Hey, hey. If I could grab a time machine, I would love to go back to downtown LA, and maybe even Pershing Square in the 1940s or 50s, not 50s, not so much. We were on the train yesterday, and if someone talks to me, I'll talk back. I'll talk to anybody. I usually don't start conversations because with strangers, because then I just look like a weirdo starting a conversation with a stranger. I feel like it's not as acceptable as it was in yesteryear. Um, I don't know why they got rid. Well, we do know why they got rid of the red cars. First of all, the who ran the red cars? I cannot remember right now, but that man, the red cars were a scam. Actually, they never made any money ever, and so he sold the red cars, or he sold that business, and I could be getting which line it was wrong also, but he sold the electric car system, or one of the two that we had in Southern California, and the owners found out it had no profit. Automobile Association of America just took over, and now we have this car city. Los Angeles is still pretty marvelous, I will say. The time machine here is New York, 1970 something. We are down here quite frequently. We're usually not, I will show a protest. It's our city. We document it 4 times a week. We also do silly, fun things in our memberships, tourist stuff. Um, but I think this is important to me. It's my neighbors, my community. I Have you ever played? I don't know if you're a video gamer. Speaking of the early 40s in Los Angeles, this might be the reason for my fascination with wanting to go back to that time. It was the game LA Noire. It's a video game made by the folks that brought you GTA, and it really has. They recreated Los Angeles. I can't remember how many square miles from a map, block by block, in the 1940s. And the downtown area is totally there. It goes all the way to one of the neighborhoods that I lived in Hollywood, and probably accurate for that time. Was really cool to see. Hey, Joey B. It was like going back in time. I loved it. I'm not the best video gamer, Although Joe keeps trying to convince me to do a second channel that's me screaming at video games and rage quitting. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. I think I had this idea that I must have like gotten from somebody else to do like a walkthrough in Dtla while walking through the video game. I have a lot of ideas. I mostly end up executing them, but not as quickly as I would like to. Welcome, Pinky. So there was a lot of great streaming going on last night, well into the night. I think this SoCal Shorts guy that I've watched a couple times. Here's Angel's Flight. Remember the time we took a ride on it, and then remember the time we got off of it because it was so crowded and I felt bad for a tourist that couldn't go on it. Also, it was really just crowded. So the police station is just over the buildings. You can see the helicopters flying. We are gonna walk through the food hall. I call it the food hall. It's the Grand Market. I call it the food hall so much that Joe referred to it as the food hall yesterday when we were down here, and I was like, what are you talking about? And then the one really crazy thing I saw on the news last night was that guy with riding his minivan through Dtla, the side streets, doing donuts. And the news people kept saying, oh my God, this, but they didn't say, oh my God, but they just kept mentioning how unhinged this guy was and that he didn't have a shirt on, so he must be unhinged. I do run the scene like a food hall queen. It is 20 degrees hotter in here than it was outside. You can stick all the giant ceiling fans on the ceiling you want. They are making, baking, doing every kind of food you can imagine. My literal favorite spot. We had Nona's empanadas yesterday. They forgot to give us the chimichurri sauce. And then when I went back for it, they were kind of douchey. This has become my favorite stop here, the Donut Man. Well, I also like the cookie at Bastion. I might get one later. This isn't like a food stream kind of day, but one does need to eat. We ate the fresh strawberry donut. It's too much donut for one person. All right, out onto Broadway. We're just making our way towards City Hall. My sister lives in the Orlando area, and she mentioned something. But this is a community that has so many immigrants. Things are closed down now, so Blue Bottle Coffee, you probably can't go into the Bradbury like we've done in the past. I think if you were, T-Mobile is closed, I can't complain about my signal today. I think if you were here in the past, it was probably a lot cooler. Yeah. Uh-huh. I think just past City Hall, yeah.
It's a lot of people, huh?
Uh-huh. I was there yesterday afternoon. It was good to see, actually,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. This is kind of fucked up.
I know,
So I
man.
can swear.
I know. What's
But
that?
you too, take care. Right. On the news, they make it sound like everything is on fire. This is something people are fighting for in this city because it's a large immigrant community. And on top of that, less than 130 years ago, give or take 10 years, this is part of Mexico. And before that, it's part of Spain. Like, I grew up in New Hampshire, and growing up, the community was like 60% French Canadian. And I think it was 60% French Canadian because we were so close to Quebec. I mean, we were in southern New Hampshire, but we're so close to Quebec. So at one time, before the border was super stiff or super whatever, people just were there. So the food hall that we just walked through, or Grand Central Market, aka the food hall, that used to be a little less touristy, I would say. It still has some authentic spots where you can buy spices and vegetables. We were here at the Gabba Gabba Gallery a couple weeks ago. So just on the other side of City Hall, just on the other side of the Los Angeles, the abandoned, haunted Los Angeles Times building. I don't know if it's haunted. Oh, thanks, Clay. And that's their City Hall. However, today it's neither a bird, a plane, or Superman, but helicopters. Lots and lots of helicopters. I don't know what we were watching this morning, but was it Channel 5? Exactly, though, right? So one time, it's even less than 100 years ago, we were all kind of messed up. My maternal grandmother moved back and forth from Canada to New York and worked and did whatever. No, hey simple user, we are not pre-recorded. We are totally live. I lost my overlay with a nice transparent background, but we'll pop that up for 1 second. And then we'll pop it up because I really don't like to junk up the screen. Boom. All right. I hope. Let me see if I'm pulled out. I think I am. So we're kind of at the foot of Bunker Hill, which has a very sad and dark history that I like to think about a lot. The 213 building is actually the parking garage for I keep wanting to say New York Times, but for the Los Angeles Times, or one of the parking garages. It has tons of stuff on it, talking about a free press. I think we'll look at it. It's almost important. I kind of love Florida, except the humidity. And I don't think I've ever admitted this on this, or not that there's anything to admit, but I was born in Florida. Then I grew up in New England. We're headed towards City Hall, but I just wanted to check out the parking garage over here for a second. It's got some really interesting quotes about the press and a free press, which I think are kind of important right now. And then kind of important to remember. The first time I saw it, I didn't put together that this building was actually maybe at one time part of the Los Angeles Times. I had to pause because I almost said New York Times. I grew up with the Boston Globe and the New York Times. I plan on maintaining a safe distance. I have a mask. I have goggles. This isn't. This is not my first rodeo. Uh, although this has been a pretty dastardly one compared to the others. I mean, honestly, again, when I was here, mostly peaceful. We were here on Friday doing a regular old walk. Did I get ice cream? I don't remember, but I sure hope I did. We were here doing our regular, like, Friday Los Angeles walkabout, blocks away from that protest that they were talking about on Friday night. Saturday, we live streamed also. Sunday, we had Gay Pride in Hollywood, first Gay Pride parade ever. And then downtown, we were protesting. So, the really awesome bas relief, I guess, maybe that's what you'd call it. It is not my first rodeo drive. You know that Rodeo Drive goes all the way to the airport, but after Wilshire somewhere, they stop calling it Rodeo and call it Rodeo Drive. So I believe that an independent, aggressive, and informed press is the surest single guarantee of democracy in the United States. You can't see it? Norman Chandler. I'll walk by really slow. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. That is our First Amendment. The freedom of the press is one of the great bulwarks of liberty. I am reading them all to you. I don't know how great you can see them, and I always struggle with getting a close-up. Were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government, I should never hesitate to prefer the latter. That is our very own Thomas Jefferson. So, as a member, as a pretend member of the press for today, I'm going to exercise my freedom. So we want to go to City Hall, which is straight ahead. Here is the police station. That baby blue color is awful for a building. It looks like some kind of 70s stuff, but I like it when the building is almost the same color as the sky. You know that, what is it, Cedars of Lebanon building that the Scientologists bought in Hollywood? Aside from that, like they painted it like the same color as the sky, so sometimes it just almost blends. I will say we might see some bad language here. I've been actually reading a little bit about that. So New York Times, there I go. LA Times is no longer here, it's in Redondo Beach. So this is just a big, old, haunted, abandoned space. Also, the LA Times just not what it used to be. If I say New York Times, I mean LA Times, because New York Times was never here. It's the LA Times building. It's a building in two parts. It kind of feels like. They moved to Redondo Beach, I feel like maybe 20 years ago. Looks like they're fortifying the police station first floor, boarding up the windows. Thanks, Ruben.
Oh, what's that stabilizer? That's dope, man.
It's a
DJI?
Hohem. No, it's a Hohem
Okay.
M7.
What are you shooting on? Are you on YouTube?
Yeah.
Sweet. Kid.
All right, Charlie.
What's your, you want to shout out
Walking in LA.
Just Lego on kid.
All right, we'll see ya. So, let me back up. I've never seen the light on in there. Oh my gosh, that's because there's... No way. That is crazy. I've never seen the inside of there before. I think they should give a tour. Not right now. I don't know what a Destiny 2 is. I know a Destiny's Child. I'm kidding. I do know. I don't know what a Destiny 2 is. I'm kidding about knowing a Destiny's Child. I only met Kelly Rowland well once. We do not know each other. So I don't see anybody over here. I think we just might walk down towards Little Tokyo. And then maybe make our way to the federal prison. I think that's probably where everybody's protesting. Well, I think they're done I keep calling them, I think they're done the Huerta protest. I'm gonna go cross.
Like, where's everybody going?
I have no idea. I don't know where they are. I'm at City Hall. So it looked like when they were here earlier, oh, they're up one. They're in the Grand Park. Or they were in the Grand Park. I recognized that stage before. We'll just take a walk by City Hall real quick. Maybe I won't stand in the street. Hey, David. That is, oh my gosh, I just missed my crosswalk almost. Hey, I want to know more about that globe too, Linnea. That is the old Los Angeles Times building. I'll probably walk back down to that train station. If I remember, I'll try to peek in. I do have a flashlight. So they usually, the protesters usually have, I wonder how far down I can go here. They usually have like a cattle truck. Hey, welcome. It's a little messy down here today. It was crazy, and there are probably people that don't have any skin in this game down here doing that. But I think people are really scared. I started mentioning this early. We watched, I don't know what it's called, 5 News. I love these guys. There's one guy in a black ski mask, always, on this. And he was like interviewing police, and he's like, the questions were ridiculous, but then afterwards, like, the police in the city are our neighbors and grew up here and are probably know someone who is not here legally. Um, I feel like the burger was invented here. But uniquely LA food. I don't know, Joe. Do you think there's any uniquely LA food? So over here, we walk by this all the time. We were here yesterday as well. Los Angeles Mall. That little weird thing you see used to play music and light up when people walked. Well, with the rhythm of the traffic, maybe. It has never been on in the 20 years since I've lived here. I feel like it never really worked properly to begin with, but it is really cool. The whole mall underneath has been sort of abandoned. The Whittier police are here. So it really is kind of a like dreamy 70s architecture, landscape, totally abandoned. I think there are probably no restaurants open in that underground mall. I did go there. I am in downtown LA, just behind City Hall. Hey, do the orange justice. Uh, I think it would be horrible if the Marines came. I mean, the Marines are supposed to protect us. Somebody spray painted a Thomas Jefferson quote. When tyranny becomes we're gonna cross here. Hey, hey, from Denmark. You know, I think we'd all be happy if something happens here. We end up becoming part of Denmark. I joke about that all the time. Nice to have you here. You've got a walk signal. I can smell a little spray paint. Hey, Mr. B or MB, we're not political here. We are recording something. And I'm sure there are other streamers who would love your cries of Vaga. Well, they replaced their shields with the California National Guard shield. So we just walked about 8 blocks, right? Only on this very last block are we seeing this. I hope nothing happens tonight. I'm just laughing at the dudes on their bikes. I'm gonna plug in. Forgive me if I get jiggly. Dude, these people are fighting for their leader. These people, we people, are fighting for a leader. Our families. Linnea, feel free to join us anytime. We are always talking and walking the architecture and history of LA. In talking about that history of LA, we do talk about LA's protest history sometimes and witness it. This is not City Hall. That's City Hall right there. Hey, BD. I agree, City Hall is City Hall. I'm trying to get, look at those windows. Sorry. We're gonna walk, we're gonna follow those birds. Let's go. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Claudia. Claudia. That is a federal building. So the federal prison is right behind that. And that's where they're holding a union leader. Okay, so we are approaching the 101 freeway where no one's blocking it, no one's lighting fires. Woo! I just got pricked by a cactus thing. Oh, sorry. And there are the people on the freeway. I've got to pick some thorns out of my leg. Let me change networks real quick. Thank you for that. Sorry. Dude, nothing anyone in LA hates more is traffic, right? And we're supporting this. Yeah, I'm gonna lag behind the crowd a little bit. I definitely would love to ban scooters. They're not good for my shins. I'm just trying. We're gonna go up and around and meet them back down there. And if you're in a car, honk if you hate fascism. So, all the exits to the highway are closed. There's so many people down here. I'm really just using my phone stream. I'm not a big enough YouTuber to have a backup signal. So we always have some signal problems when there's a huge crowd. So we'll walk on the parallel street. Yeah, I'm trying to get to where they are. I think they're marching back to City Hall. So hey, if you were on here, peeping, watching, feel free to give a like and subscribe. I'm just gonna shout that out right now. And I do appreciate it. I don't get the new subscribers announced on my screen, but I really appreciate each and every one of you. I do get new members announced on my stream, so we do also have memberships. I want to take a second to thank my members for your support, which I am eternally grateful for. Every time I see your names, it's like 50 individual hugs. Hey DC, I will be safe today. I always can't get too close on account of signal. So I am at the front of the line per your request. Oh, great. I'm glad he got out of jail. I do think it's best to protest in peace, but not the way you spell it. I just don't know that. I figure if I'm a little closer to the sun, I'll get a better reception. I climbed up onto a wall. Oh, I remember those people throwing tea into the sea, and they also dressed up like Native Americans to do it. I feel like the national news is making this into a fire in the Reichstag. Like there's a couple blocks of real crazy stuff going on, but again, sorry, I never walk up close to this because there's usually cordoned off park. I know we're in the middle of a protest and this is where I choose to spend my camera moment. Sorry. It's called the Triforium. I always forget. It's because I'm just furiously. I'm doing my best. Thanks, Leah. It's a pretty cool statue. I wish I could see it in operation. It's all part of the plan.
Gone, he can't get out.
Oh, look at this guy's camera. The police chief last night said he was overwhelmed, and that's a real. Oh my gosh, stop putting that icon up. I'm trying my best. Battery is charging. I'm really good with the battery. Really not in my budget. I'm gonna like back scene. It's crazy watching it drop. It goes up to 3,000, and now we're back at 100. All right, let's get out of the park and is effing things up. It could be. A little choppy. That's because the ad isn't coming from my phone. I got a little bit away from the crowd. We're gonna take a left up here towards Little Tokyo. And then we'll see if we can see anything from the far end. So streets are lined with police. We were in and out when we were really close to the crowd. So we're just in front of City Hall. It was really beautifully lit up last night, I have to say. So up here, I love to see pictures of this street when it was not straight. It was kind of like curved and it had these really crazy turn of the century buildings. Of course, they all tore that down to build City Hall. I think he just called me Carrot Top. I do not have red hair. Or maybe you heard. So there's the Los Angeles Police Department, all cordoned off. So there was a point yesterday, and you can go back and look at the video, where there was a officer on the roof just pointing a rifle at people in an area where people weren't doing anything that would warrant that. Just for some perspective for regular walkers, we're usually on that side of the street, and we usually enter Little Tokyo right there. Anybody in those like military-like outfits is a little scary looking. I mean, so we have officers from all over. Torrance, which is not that far away. Yeah, I saw when a CHP unit was destroyed. We've got some helicopters. Just gonna walk towards the crowd. There's a lot of standing around. I think it would be well. If you guys walk down here with me all the time, like that's a lot of police sirens actually compared to what we usually hear. I do have the noise cancellation on, so I won't blow your speakers. Taco trucks are definitely what? I'm sure somebody will make some really cool wallpaper out of this. Some bespoke wallpaper. Well, so that's the City Hall East building. They're protecting that. Yesterday, we saw a kid try to smash, or maybe he did, actually, he probably did smash one of these windows in. This is where the police were standing with sniper rifles or whatever they were. I'm gonna back up. Signal. I'm gonna switch my right, I'm roasting. Sorry, I'm gonna cross the street. So, we're gonna walk back to the train station. A little exaggerated. And unfortunately, I don't love the head of the LA police, Sheriff Luna. I don't know why. Oh, I'm respawning. I'm trying to respawn. I am leaving because the connection is pretty bad, and because I am gonna leave. I'm gonna back down to 7th Street Metro. I'm gonna leave because the connection is seriously bad. Um, I did want to take us down here today, although it's not usually in what we do, because it's important. As I document the city and the way it's changed, um, it's also important to record the history too. I have respawned to Little Tokyo right over there. We are going to be tomorrow. I am posting a members only live, and not live stream, but members only video, as I do every Tuesday without fail, except for last week when I was editing it for 100 years. I'll be on Wednesday. If this is going down, we'll probably come down here to check this out. Uh, really will work on my stream or doubling it up this month, meaning getting a second line that actually works with my phone. Because I'd like to cover more crowded stuff. And we're definitely going to the Oscars again this year. Remind me to write for my press pass in November. So here's the Los Angeles Police Department across the street. I think this is the Metro headquarters. You know, one comment I get on the stream a lot is how clean the streets are in Los Angeles. Yesterday when the police, we don't condone violence or stuff like that, but when they were on the rooftop, the crowd was shouting, "Jump!" I don't, I thought it was funny in a very dark humor way. The major. I feel like we have not seen enough of the major. Look at those copters. The protesters are down by the jail where we were yesterday, by the Geffen temporary contemporary area, and across from, it's a federal building, that's where we just were. I don't even know what street it's on. It's so out of my, we go that way all the time, but we usually take this street. I'm showing you with my hand, wow. I think there are a lot of cuss words, and it possibly is rated R for now. I try not to show them, but they're everywhere, and it's kind of unavoidable. You know, my mom took me to a couple rallies when I was a kid. My mother was very progressive, I would say. So despite what you're seeing, and some spray paint, I believe that both the president and the news media are blowing this out of proportion. It is way more than usual. Definitely way more than usual. I didn't take it as a complaint. I took it as kind of a funny joke. Um, well, he's in a federal detention center. I keep calling it a jail, but it's that beige building that we were standing next to. It's a federal building. There are some people in the detention center, but I think Mr. Huerta was there. This guy's a legend in this city. I mean, think about this. It's 15 years ago, before all the bad press, and someone snatches Ellen, huh? You would be really upset. He's more than an Ellen, though. Ellen Lovejoy. What about the children? I like to think of myself as a Ned Flanders, sorry, not Nate Flanders. Nate Flanders knows about a Dutch sandwich, though, I bet. It was so I grew up in New Hampshire. My mother was a very independent woman, very liberal. She did a lot of, I'm gonna make her sound like a blue-blooded, pearl-clutching lady, which she was not. She did a lot of charity work, and she worked for a women's empowerment group. The first protest I went to was for women's reproductive rights. And it was at the Union Leader newspaper, and the Union Leader was a strange newspaper because they're very Republican, and they would put the Republican-leaning editorial on the front page. I remember the first Earth Day I remember was maybe 1990, and the Naki Loeb, that was the lady the editor of the newspaper after her husband, William Loeb, disappeared. That's that weird theater that I never look up, Main and 6th Street. Anyway, so in her editorial about global warming, or whatever we were calling it in 1990, she was like, and what's wrong with that? Do you love shoveling your driveway? Everybody loves warmer weather, don't they? Idiot. The helicopters are really just non-stop down here today, as would be the case. So this is a favorite street we walk down all the time. We walked it initially when we did a secret tunnels walk, but it's the Cecil Hotel Barclay. I'm just making my way back to 7th and Metro. I mean 7th and the 7th Street Metro. 7th and something. Yeah, crazy. That was a really crazy newspaper. In fact, the funny thing about that newspaper is my whole life, my family kind of made fun of that newspaper. I remember my mother was a layout artist, funnily enough, or a graphic artist. And she did before Photoshop, right? Some kind of kooky layout with Naki Loeb. and then ended up working for the union leader. We don't, I mean, we do like warmer weather. I mean, not warmer than what it is right now, but we really don't want our coast to flood. And what scares me is more like science fiction kind of crap, but like, okay, once that permafrost melts, what crazy thing is in there, a la like The Last of Us, that's gonna come out and mutate and turn us all into mushroom zombies? I urge you wholeheartedly, if you love just old things, to look up this shoe shop on YouTube. Um, it has been closed since 1990. I talk about it all the time. I figure you're new here. It's been closed since 1990. And the guy, 1990 something, I should say, the guy just locked it up and left it. And some people came in and did like a 3D scan of it. And it's pretty freaking cool. I also kind of love pressing windows like this. You can kind of see the old diner in this old hotel. So it's the shoe shop in the Hotel Barclay, a once glamorous hotel. This is kind of Hotel Row. We talk about these hotels a lot. Also, it's not really Hotel Row, it's the old banking district. Did you see the post I put up on Friday? I had to get a Diet Coke in Union Station, BD, you know, it was a hot day. And on my way, I don't want to drink on the train because you're not allowed, it doesn't stop anybody else, but whatever. Woo! What a cool little shop. I got a Diet Coke, I wandered around outside for a little bit. Wow, I don't know, I want to just show you the cool plane flying overhead. Oh, you're never gonna see it. Oh, I forgot, I'm on a delay. You're never gonna see the cool plane. Never mind. Anyway, so I found this. There are like 3 restaurants in Union Station. There's the one that we could see tracks, and then the one that we could kind of see. But I went and got a Diet Coke, like $3.50. What fresh hell am I living in? And I found this restaurant, so I hung out. I pressed my camera against the glass. There is the wholesale district right there. We went to Santee Alley a little bit ago. And I got the pictures of the most incredible 1940s streamlined, elegant diner or restaurant. Just beautiful. Coming up on the right, Hotel Rosslyn and the $1 Million Hotel. How's it going? Hey, back in the clay, it's going up to $9.90. It's going to be $9.99. And they made it sound like they were adding some extra crap to it, but it mostly sounded like you could still use most of it after the 7th, but premium things will be removed. I don't know what is a premium on here, except the actual service they offer. Oh my gosh, I'm not even paying attention to the crosswalk. I feel like I maybe should need to watch War of the Worlds, the original version. At one time, this place over here, the Nickel Diner, had the best and first maple glazed donut with bacon on it I've ever had. Really good. I don't even know if it's open anymore, but for a while, maybe 2008 when downtown was kind of getting hot again, I think they reopened it. Doesn't look open today, but not a lot of stuff is. What's that? I'm going up there. So you can see like the juxtaposition of old buildings side by side with new buildings. Got the back of some Art Deco beauties right here. Hey, how are you? We ran into those people earlier. So we're gonna turn and go back to where I started. But on the way there, I just thought somebody had brought up the red cars earlier. So the electric station, train station, before Union Station, used to be downtown. So this was the end of the line for everything, for every train coming from the east, for every train, actually it's right there, that building. So when that moved, that is really when downtown started unaliving itself. Well, it didn't move, actually, when Union Station opened. I love LA Noir. Hey, aloha. Thank you for joining us. We are at the other end of the protest. We were just there. I don't know if you guys heard me, if I was buffering, but it's really not something I usually do, but I really wanted to. I hate this expression because I think it's overplayed, like closure, but I kind of wanted to bear witness, you know? This is my city. People are my friends, family, co-workers, when I had co-workers. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful dog. Hey, Mary. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna give you some fireworks, Mary, but not maybe in front of the Cecil Hotel. So this was the hotel that they kind of did a American horror. Oh, I can say horror story. They kind of did the hotel inside like it. The thing is, the outside of this hotel is not as impressive. Mary, I'm gonna give you some hearts. Hold on. Mary, thank you so much. Do 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 do. Fireworks. And of course, so we talk about this hotel all the time. The skinny of what I like to say is it's really built on the edge. So a little further down is Skid Row. We don't go there. When the train station that dropped everybody off downtown LA closed, people stopped coming. And this was once like $1 million hotel for the traveling rich. Kind of became a I don't know the word that I want to use. I'm too old to know the proper non-offensive word, but just sort of a flop house, maybe. And so what I discovered when I was researching that, when we were talking about it, I'm also going to thank you again, Mary, with some more hearts. I just wanted to do it in a prettier area. Um, when I was thinking about it, that's the story of almost every hotel in Los Angeles that I look up. It was built during a time when there was wealth. There was either a Great Depression. Well, there was either the Great Depression or people just moved to a different part of the city and stopped going there, or the train station moved. The city is kind of like an organism. So that's a cool view. Merry white butterflies. I've never used that one before. Thank you so much. It didn't turn into a brothel, but it turned into sort of a hotel where the saddest, scariest stories of LA took place. Richard Ramirez lived there. Um, when we did that walk, we talked about this sweet little old lady who was a telephone operator named Pigeon Goldie, that was unalived, who lived there. There was also an Austrian serial killer. I don't know if I can say the K word, but that lived there. There was also lots of personal unalivings. I don't know how to really say that. Sorry, I usually use the S word and the D word in my everyday. It's weird. I feel like San Francisco and LA get pitted against each other all the time. Yeah, Richard Ramirez. I forgot the Austrian guy's name, but he is also pretty famous too. It's so I talk about this every once in a while. I've written a couple of them. I just haven't recorded them yet, but I've been working on, I guess, a podcast um, where I can dive in a little deeper into things and say the D word or the M word, or, you know, D is for unalived, M is for made unalived, you know. I could be a little more truthful. Well, not that I'm not ever truthful. Yeah, a lot of people say that it's a dark, dark vortex. Actually, one of our folks here says that. One of our subscribers, JK, has mentioned that in the Roosevelt Hotel are dark vortexes. Oh, no, thank you. So we're on Broadway, walking back to the train station. Oh, no, thank you. You too. Well, the city was really in fear during that time. It's almost like they Mussolini. No, they didn't really Mussolini him, but I'm standing in the shadow of the light post because I did not use sunscreen today, unfortunately. And here we go. A beautiful Eastern building down there. Looking towards City Hall. No, you're not in New York in the 1970s if you're here for the first time. Yeah, that is a newsstand. No, I forgot to check my battery, but hold on, I've got an extra one. Give me a second. I'm gonna do something unheard of. Which is plug myself in. All right, there we go. Dude, when I first moved here, BD, thanks, I hope you like my legs. Did you see where the cactus scratched them up? When I first moved here, there was like a newsstand on every corner. This is St. Vincent Square, our court, actually. We come walk through here all the time, but... Oh, what are you saying now? PF... It's telling me that it can't balance. Sorry. Hang tight for 1 second. Anyway, St. Vincent Court. I am just got to balance my camera. It's probably why the battery went so soon, because there we go. Because if it's not balanced, to the left, so we want to, it's gonna shut off. To the left, that's not balanced. You can see my legs again. Sorry, they look really weird. These are my old sneakers. I'm right in front of a jewelry store. They probably think I'm gonna rob them. Hold, please. Oh, yeah. All right, we're turning on. We're gonna hit the balance. This is a food court from the Bullock's department store that used to be right around here. Why are you tilting to the left? So we want to, hold please. Oh well. I used to love a good newsstand. Okay, so, hold. I'm just going to tilt to the left. So I need to push it to the right. It's still gonna, all right, I think I cleared that out. Or maybe not. Weird. Just having a little motor balance issue. Not personally. Although that's always possible. Weird. I love the older buildings too. I think it's part of the reason why they're still here is because we kind of abandoned downtown. Tilt roll. Why are you tilting all the way to the left? Anyway, you guys, I am walking back to the train station. I, of course, am having technical difficulties at the end of this long and lovely stream. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Again, members, live video tomorrow. And I'll see you real soon. I can't get my gimbal to balance, otherwise I'd walk you right back to the train station with me. So thank you so much. Thank you to my members. I really appreciate your support, your hugs. Sorry, I'm trying to last ditch effort balance this before it shuts off again. I am gonna head towards the home. Have an awesome day. I'll see you members tomorrow. I'll see everybody else on Wednesday. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing and chatting and liking. I appreciate it. Bye.